Hi, I'd like to go over a couple example problems on this worksheet. Remember, you only have to do number 10 through 24. I'm going to start with number 11. I want to go through just a couple that might be tricky, or just remind you how to do absolute value. So we're combining what we learned about solving absolute value with what we've learned about doing inequalities. Sorry about that. So one thing with absolute value is we learned that you've got to get the absolute value signs all by themselves. So what I'm going to do is get rid of this plus 2 by subtracting 2 on both sides. So you have to solve for the absolute value. Now we know inside of here can be 11 or negative 11, because the absolute value of negative 11 will make that 11. So this is where I split this up into two equations. So my first equation, everything's the same. The second equation, we make the 11 negative and we flip the sign. So we make it negative and flip the sign. So that's kind of new. And then we solve these two equations. So add 12 to both sides. And then to solve, we divide by 4. So 4 doesn't go to 23. Go ahead and keep it as an improper fraction. That's fine. And keep this as a fraction. That's fine as well. So I'll show you one way that you can... oh, actually, you don't have to graph this. So that is our answer here. So look back at the original problem. Is this an and or an or? And we learned that if it's greater than, it's always going to be an or problem. So I'm going to put an or here, and you can check. This is bigger than 1/4, x has to be greater than that, or less than 1/4. You can't have both of those. So I also see with that it's an or problem. So number 11 you didn't have to graph, but number 15 you do. Alright, so the absolute value is already by itself in this case. So we're going to split this up. The first inequality is going to be exactly the same. And the second inequality, we flip the sign and make the 9 negative. And then we solve both of these. So I'm going to get rid of this 6 by subtracting 6 on both sides. And subtract 6 from both sides on the other inequality to get rid of the positive 6. Okay, and then I have to divide by negative 5 on both sides. So I divided by a negative. That means I got to flip the sign. I get a fraction on that side. I divide by negative on this inequality, so I flip the sign there. And I get positive 3. Okay, and then we're going to graph this. So remember, the smaller one has to go on this side, so negative 3/5. I'm going to put negative 1 here. Let's do 0, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay, so negative 3/5. That's going to be, about here. Circle it, keep it open. X is greater than that, so it's going to go this way. X is less than 3, circle the 3. It's going to go this way. There's no lines underneath, so I keep them open. And this one is a less than sign, so notice the less than sign is always going to be an and inequality, so we connect it in the middle. And the last problem I want to go over is number 19. So we have to solve for the absolute value first by adding this negative 1 to both sides. So you have to get these absolute value bars by themselves before we continue solving. Sorry, my phone just rang. And then 3 plus 1 is 4. Now that I've solved for the absolute value signs, I rewrite my inequality without them. And then I write the second one. And I flip the sign and make the 4 negative. Now I continue solving. We're going to add 4 to both sides here. Get rid of that minus 4. And add 4 to both sides on the other one as well. Get rid of the minus 4. And then we divide by the 3 to undo our multiplication. So I get the fraction 8/3 here. And 0 divided by 3 is 0. And I'm going to graph this. So negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so to give you an idea of what 8/3 equals, you can divide those in your calculator if you want. And 8/3 is the same as 2 and 2/3. So that helps me to know that it's between 2 and 3. It's going to be a little bit more towards the 3, 2/3 of the way. So there we go. So x is less than or equal to 8/3, which is that, less than this way. And x is greater than or equal to 0, fill it in. Connect them in the middle. And as we see, the less than sign is an and type, so they are connected in the middle. Oh, sorry, you can't see that right there. Okay, I hope that's helpful.